I must have missed that the baby dragon was Chromie. How did you notice? The way that you can tell that the baby dragon is Chromie is it has big green eyes. Real big green eyes. And it survives. Nozdormu, sends it to get help. And the implication is that Eternus, the whole lesson of the scenario is that you're not supposed to change the past. Like, some things are not meant to be changed, but Nozdormu, for the first time ever, decided to entertain the thought from an infinite dragon because he wanted to understand where they were coming from. And so from determining that Eternus's attitude was, from the loss of her sister, he needed to go through that with her, not only to see himself the truth of the situation, but so that Eternus could also come to so that she could reconcile with the truth that if she saves her sister, she doesn't exist. Period. So she's probably dead at this point. She's probably like without Chromie, without everything that's happened between Chromie and the Infinite, Eternus does not stand where she does. Like, things just don't go. It's the butterfly effect. You completely change the course of the future by changing one little detail. And that's the deeper meaning, is that you have to learn to accept some of the things that have happened, because changing them would actually be worse, even if you don't notice it at first. So yeah, it was a really good quest line. And Nozdormu also says, thank you. Yes, I thought of this in the moment while I watched it, but I did forget. So thank you, Megalod, for the reminder that Nozdormu does say, you're going to make it to the Whelpling. I know you will. And that's because, presumably, because Nozdormu knows that it's Chromie. He figures it out that that's who it is. And so he knows that we can't change anything, because if they do, the eggs don't make it, and none of this happens. So by virtue that we are all standing here, time could not be changed, because if it had been changed, we wouldn't have been here. That's the essence of a time paradox, but it's the philosophical meaning of it, the reason behind it, and from what I can understand, is acceptance of loss. That, like, the things that have caused you pain and loss in your past have led you to where you are now, even in the good ways, even if you don't realize it. And that going back and changing things in your past would drastically alter, in completely unpredictable ways, what would happen as a result. And it's one, not worth the risk, and two, it's just not possible. Because by doing so, by changing the past that leads to you in the future, you're gone. So that's the whole point. That's the whole point. And I thought it was very well written. I thought it was very good. Especially when, and they also hit it home. They really drill it home in the follow-up quest, and how you know for sure it's Chromie is because when Nozdormu meets with Eternus behind the building in Thaldraszus over here, behind the temporal conflux, Chromie shows up after, and she's like, what's wrong with Eternus? And you, like, explain, and, like, Chromie, it's, she emotes, and, like, a little smile goes across her face, and she goes and sits next to Eternus, and just to comfort her. And that is, like, if there was any doubt at all before that it was Chromie, it was gone at that moment. It all evaporated. It had to be Chromie. And the reason that she's sitting there right now next to Eternus is the reason why we just watched all of this happen, because this moment, like, it's all tied together, right? So I really did enjoy it. I think that both the blue Dragonflight quests and the bronze Dragonflight quests are, frankly, besides some of the cringy, power friendship dialogue, which is also sometimes present in Final Fantasy XIV, I have to admit. Besides that, I think that the bronze Dragonflight quest is really good. Really, really good. Both the bronze and the blues, fucking chef's kiss. It's some of the best stories, individual stories that have been told in WoW in a long, long time. And they've also brought closure to some of the open-ended scenarios, you know, all the blue dragons that were missing, and you know, the destruction of the timeways in the infinite that's been lingering for a long time. No pun intended, but so yeah, I hope that they keep it up, and hopefully we're about to experience some more.